Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced EP is the awesome local artist from Las Cruces, New Mexico, Miss Evie Mann. Evie, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, I'm so honored to be here.
No, it's so cool. I'm super excited to have you on. I got to meet you free comic book day
Yeah,
over at Comic Addict in Chaparral. And,
yeah.
like we were talking about earlier, I mean, your stuff is awesome, and apparently you could see the stuff behind you too. And
This is all actually not me.
oh,
Yeah, over the years, I've met a bunch of different artists, and I've every interaction I've had with a new person,
yeah.
I've always been like, oh, I want to keep that forever. Like, I wish I had a thing to keep that moment forever.
Right.
So all of these are my friends. Some of the people you can
That
see
is
are
so
people
awesome.
at the Free Comic Book
Yeah.
Day. This one up here is Joey, actually.
Mhm.
Here's one from Andy who was at, hold on, let me,
Yeah,
the
no,
one at the
yeah.
very top is
Feel
from
free to give the
Andy.
tour. Feel free to give the tour.
The one at the top is from Andy. That one's
That's
Andy
cool.
Perez. That one's an
Yeah.
original. I have my calendar from January that I never changed. There's some people up there.
That's
There's
so
a
cool.
drawing of me up there actually that my friend Jaden
Yeah.
did. She's in the Alamogordo Zia Comics actually.
Mhm.
This one over here is from let me remember. Oh, Mark Fenton's show.
Oh, sweet.
That's when I met Alex. He was supposed to be at Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
That one is honestly one of my favorites. Everyone did like
Nice.
little drawings and stuff on it. So
No, that's cool.
I'm like so proud of this wall.
I appreciate the tour. I appreciate the tour, but I was gonna say because when I met you over Comic Addict, Dan, your stuff is so cool, and I
Thank you.
think honestly anything like Ninja Turtles like I gravitate towards, but the
Mhm.
style you had is just so cool, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
uh,
I've always really liked Raymond's Ninja Turtle stuff.
mm,
Raymond was the one who made me want to do it. His stuff is just like he took such like a realistic take on it, I
mhm,
think.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, I really want to see what would happen if I did it in more of like a realistic style, but kept the like cartoony style that everyone loves.
yeah. No,
So
that's cool. Yeah, no, your stuff is awesome. Let's talk about you for a second here. I mean, how did you get interested in drawing and in art? How did you first get started, or what piqued your interest in that?
Um, well, I've kind of always liked it. My mom is an artist.
Oh, nice.
So she went through high school, did high school art classes. She has big, big paintings. We always find her stuff when we go through her stuff at my grandparents' house. So she's always done more traditional stuff, I'd say. So she has like she grew up really religious, so she has like paintings of Mary and baby Jesus, and she has my parents had a pet store, so she has a ton of drawings of reptiles, snakes,
That's
fish,
cool.
lizards. So I always grew up with her and around a lot of art supplies. She like is like obsessed with collecting art supplies. So my office has a ton of art supplies. Her office next door has a ton of art supplies.
Oh, that's cool. Never,
So there's
never a shortage,
always
huh?
yeah, never, ever. I was like, you need colored pencils? Got them. You need watercolors? Got them. You need markers? Got them.
No, that's
So I always had the supplies, and I grew up an only child. So I was always bored and always needed something to do.
well,
So I've always drawn like and done, I've always wanted to like finish stuff. So even when I was little, I was like, this is how it's going to be laid out, and this is what's going to happen, and stages of like sketching and then lining and then
mhm.
painting and then signing it. I've always had a signature.
Oh, that's cool. And
So
that is
I,
really cool.
yeah, I grew up with the artist culture all the time.
Oh, so it's in the blood, and you almost didn't have a choice.
Yeah, and my everyone knows my dad. My dad collects art. He has a ton of pieces, frame stuff that he took out when I was little and was like, "Look, this is," because he's taken me to conventions since I was 7 or 8, maybe.
Nice.
I was the one like in the stroller. I was the kids that used to be walking around the conventions.
Yeah.
So he would always take me, because like when we went to conventions, it wasn't like we were going and buying backpacks and stuff for even art, really. He
Yeah.
wanted there for the comic artists. Like
Oh,
we were in
nice.
line with a short box. If it was one book per person, he would get me, my mom, and he would be in the back, so we all get one free signed book.
Right? Oh, that's
Yeah,
so cool.
comic convention circuit. I've been getting these books signed for as long as I can remember.
Nice. Is there a moment like you were with your dad at like a convention that you remember the most, or something that you like a favorite moment with him like at one of those conventions?
Um, so I'm gonna be releasing this very soon.
Oh.
But we went to an Irving show that I think doesn't exist anymore
Hmm.
when I was 9, and we dedicated. I missed a school field trip to go to go to this convention,
Right.
and my parents worked out something with my teacher that I would interview the artists at the convention instead of doing my school project just when I got home because I wasn't going on the field trip.
Right.
So it was great. It's better in like hindsight, I think, but even when I was little, I really understood. Um, because artists, especially the older artists, so
Hmm.
like Randy Emberlin, we met him, loved me because I was little and tiny and I didn't really understand what was happening or
Right.
why he was so famous, why people were in line for him. So when I went up to ask him questions, I asked Michael Golden. Michael Golden was the same way, where he was like, "Yeah, I want the young people to care about me." So he would be like, "Come here," and I would be able to sit really close to them, sit right next to them.
Mhm.
Larry Hama, I got to sit right next to him and ask him questions. He's a legend. My dad loves GI Joe stuff, so like I was sitting next to him. My dad was like, "Holy shit!" Like my dad was so excited.
That's cool.
My dad was like shaking, foaming, like, "Oh my god, my daughter's right next to him, and they love her." So it was just that feeling of going up to this person my dad like idolized and being like, "Hey, you're pretty cool," and then being excited about me, and my
Hmm.
dad just being excited that they like
That's
liked
cool.
me,
So,
and I felt
oh,
like VIP.
you could almost say like you could flip that too and almost say that was probably your dad's favorite memories, seeing you
Dude,
with
I'm
them.
sure it was. My dad has probably so many favorite memories of me that I just either don't remember or didn't care about that much.
That
But my dad loved taking me.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's so cool that your family had that closeness and that kind of same interest, same area.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I'm still I like my daughter. She does pretty well with her drawing. She kind of stopped a little while for a
Mm,
while, but like they've always been around like El Paso Comic Con because
yeah.
I when I first started with them, I was doing the celebrity photo booth with them. So I'd always put my
Mhm.
daughter to work and stuff like that, and she got to meet a lot of cool people. And it's just really cool being able to share that with her, and she still remembers a few people here and there. So I could kind of relate with your dad, like how he probably
Yeah.
feels, even though
Yeah.
like you were kind of like, hey, who's this guy? And like I'm like, oh
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
think for example one of I'll say it real quick when Alan Tudyk came
Mhm.
and he was the nicest guy, and at the time my daughter was really into Wreck-It Ralph, and I had to explain
Oh.
to her that he does the voice for King Candy, and she was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's cool that you're I'm pretty sure you're that was probably your dad's favorite moments too.
Yeah. I'm sure my dad has way more stories that I just don't even remember that I was like, what? Because like honestly, when we went to conventions, again, I was really tiny,
Hmm.
so his he wanted to stand in front of comic boxes for hours. The whole time we were there, he wanted to
Yeah.
stand in front of comic boxes, and I didn't know what he was doing, but he was like going through, making sure that he isn't missing stuff, you know?
Right.
So I would be sitting there like, I just want to go home so bad, not realizing that my parents took me to this really crazy fun place and spent a lot of money to be there, and eventually it would be my life.
Yeah.
But
Um,
I
um,
was just there's just so many good times where I was
cool.
like, I
That's
don't know.
cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'm hoping that my son's kind of that way now when we go, or like when we do that, or like if we've gone to like
Yeah.
the New Mexico Expo back in the day when they first had it before COVID, and he was the same way. He's like, when are we going home? And
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
I
Like,
see it all the time too. People bring their kids up to their booth and their kid is
yeah.
like, "Oh my God, please take me home." And I'm like, "Oh, I feel for you on
Oh,
a real level. I feel for that kid."
yeah. That's cool. Well, I'll talk. I'll get back to your art real quick. What's some of your favorite? That's just cool. I just love that banter with me, and it's cool that we can share that. It's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
about your art, like, is there a favorite? Like, is there a style you like to stick with, or do you have a favorite way of drawing, or how do you? What's your favorite way to create?
Um, it definitely fluctuates. I'd
Mhm.
say I do like to stick within the like comic art style. I don't know
Mhm.
if I that would fit into one specific thing. I think there's lots of people who do comics of
I think
very different.
everyone. I think we know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of in that like storytell. I'm trying to get more into like storytelling artwork, like
Hmm.
sequential art, but not just that, like art that you can look at and be like, oh, there's a thing happening
Yeah.
here. So definitely, I would say there isn't stuff I enjoy more than others, but there is definitely things that inspire me more than others. So comics obviously inspire me endlessly. Um, and I'm so lucky to have um, the supply, I guess, for that
Yeah.
kind of inspiration, especially because comics have gotten expensive. It
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
For
have to
sure.
go out and buy a $4 comic. I can go to the room over and there's thousands to choose from. I
You're
do and be like, yeah, I'd like to read another Batman one. That's fine.
like, yeah, I'll just get that one.
Yeah, and I think it must be from growing up around them. I was always pushed to read comics, and I was always pushed to even just look at the pictures if I didn't want to read it. And I've always been a big book person. I've always liked books, and art, and growing up with those two things being one thing was like magical. I was like, I need to put you on this thing. Like it was a brand new thing that I came up with.
Yeah.
Um, and so definitely comics have always inspired me. Um, and I think as I've gotten older, I've realized that like painting can be incorporated into comics.
Mhm.
The Monsters book, I wish I knew his name that paints the Monsters book. A new one just came out for Free Comic Book Day, and
Oh yeah.
it's the whole thing is painted and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Um, and there's so many amazing painters. Puppeteer Lee, crazy. And I think as I've really grown my horizon and like peripherally looked at the people around me and the people in front of me and the amazing painters and I've always really loved art germ stuff. I know that that's not a brand new idea. Everyone loves art germ stuff.
Mhm.
J. Scott Campbell, art germ, like the legends, love those guys, and I've always been inspired by them. And so I think over time, my art style with everything I do, painting, watercolor, Copic marker, has all been inspired by the people who led me up to this point, I guess.
Yeah.
And my styles definitely switch between what characters I'm doing, what I'm doing, what style I'm doing it, what medium I'm doing it in, you know? So
Yeah.
like I've realized that my I really love drawing Catwoman. Every time I draw Catwoman, it looks like um J. Scott Campbell's Catwoman
Hmm.
and Artgerm's Catwoman like fused together. And I'm trying to get away and do my own thing, but it always ends up looking like that.
Well, if you fuse them, it kind of is your thing if you think about it. But I mean, I totally
Yeah,
understand. I totally get what you're saying though.
yeah. I've gotten a lot of advice of like if you like someone, try not to copy them.
Mhm.
Try to take the stuff you like from them and make it into your own so that like the end result is still something you like, but it's
Mhm.
not them. It's not like a carbon copy of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it kind of hurts my feelings when I realize that it looks like something else. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, but it probably looks
It's
so
just like,
amazing though.
usually it does. I really love drawing Catwoman. And every time I draw something that I'm really passionate about drawing, it usually ends up turning out really good.
No, that's cool. I mean, and like I mean, all the stuff, like even the stuff you have posted on your Instagram is so cool. Like I said, I showed my daughter earlier your Instagram, and she was thumbing through it, and that
Oh,
she loves the Spider-Man that you drew. That's kind of at the top, and then
mm-hmm.
all the and then all the turtles too. This is really cool. And my son he's a huge Deadpool guy. He likes Deadpool. Yeah, I'll plead the fifth if you ask me if he watched the movie, but let's see here. And then
I
like of
did.
course like my all-time favorites are like from like some of my favorite ones you did were Spawn and all the turtles and uh
Yeah.
I regret not getting anything from you from Free Comic Book Day, but I had
No
the
problem.
whole my son thing. He wanted to go home.
Oh,
So I think I
yeah.
just had time to send out one of the magazines I got to get graded, and I didn't really get a chance to talk to you fully to get to see about
Yeah.
buying something for me. So, but we'll talk soon. We'll talk soon for sure.
Okay.
Now, one
Yeah.
thing I do want to ask is there like, do you have a favorite, uh, I guess either like hero or character that you like to draw? But besides, I guess so you had kind of talked about Catwoman a lot. But
Love
is there a character that you try to draw but you like can't get him right, or you don't like the way he turns out most of the time? I'm just curious. I'm just curious about that.
I really love that question
Yeah.
because they're okay. My dad is my biggest supporter ever, number one fan. I'm sure he's right outside that door with a cup. He every time I think I did it wrong, he's like, "No, it's great. It's great. It looks fine." And I'm like, "I can't draw it." And sometimes there's characters that I have some issues with.
hmm
I I don't think I've ever told anyone outside of my dad this, but I think I'm awful at drawing Batman, and my Batman stuff has done so good. Everyone loves my Batman stuff, and I don't understand it at all. Every time, if you've ever bought Batman for me,
hmm
people watching, I didn't like it, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't think it came out good. And everyone told me it was fine, and then you bought it, and I'm sure I hope you love it. I don't love it, and that's the
Oh.
reason I didn't keep it. So
All right. I think I know what I think if I commission a piece for me, I think I found out one of the ones I'm gonna commission for me now. Just to see. I'm so curious now that you mentioned it. And just for the record, Batman's my favorite DC character of all time. So
love DC.
yeah.
I'm working on a set of Gotham Girls right now. I
Oh,
love
cool.
DC. I love it more than Marvel.
Oh.
And I love drawing DC characters. I love the Gotham City. I love the Gothic style buildings. I love the
Mhm.
aesthetic I can go with it.
Yeah.
My Batman, I have probably 200,000 sketches to try and get it right because
Mhm.
I can't ever get the proportions right. My brother is like the biggest Batman fan you will ever meet in your life. He
Mhm.
exclusively collects Batman stuff. I'm just like, I feel like I should be better at it. And every Batman I've drawn, the customer and the I do stuff at Asylum all the time. They're
Mhm.
like, no, it's great. It looks great. And I'm like, okay, as long as you like it, I guess. I never do Batman stuff though. I don't think there is a single Batman on my page just because I
Oh,
don't want
you
to
know,
post it. I
I
don't
was
like
cheating. I
it.
was cheating a little bit. I was kind of scrolling through to see if I could find one, but I think you're correct. I don't think
You
there's
can
any
look,
Batman on
there's
there.
probably not one.
Yeah, I don't think there's any Batman, and I was trying to cheat a little bit.
I'm so, and I'm not gonna say I'm ashamed of it or anything,
Mhm,
but it's just I'm I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to art. Like I'll
mhm.
sit there and be like, I just need something. It needs to be a little different, and I can't fix it, and it bothers me so much that I can't fix it. And Batman, every time I draw Batman, especially a finished one, if it's like colored and it's on like a nice blank or something, oh man, it just hurts my soul every time. And people come up all day and they're like, "This Batman is so good," and I'm like, "Glad you feel that way, buddy. I'm glad you."
That's cool. No, yeah, your stuff is cool, and then you were talking about you might have a project upcoming, correct?
Which one?
Oh yeah, well, do you have one that you could talk about? Because I know sometimes you can't talk about some certain projects. Do you have one I guess the one you're going to share right now with us?
Well, the Kickstarter is Dumb Reminders.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what's his last name? I always forget it. It starts with an A. Umberto
Is it Avila?
Avero. Hmm?
Avila?
Yes. So sorry
That's
if
okay.
you're watching this.
I'm cheating because I actually have the page open
Yeah.
over here.
Okay.
So
I it occurred to me that I'd never try to say it until this moment right now.
yeah.
Um, him and their stuff. I'm working on the splash page.
Hmm.
So that is going to be very soon. Um, I'm thinking August, September. I don't know when the actual book is going to be printed or when the Kickstarter is actually going to drop.
Yeah.
I just work on that like one little piece of the puzzle. But that is a thing I'm working on that is going to come out very soon.
Sweet. No, no, I'll make sure I'll make sure I'll share it so everyone can, because I know I have it open and you can everyone, it says that like you said, launching soon. And then we
Yeah.
have, everyone who's got an account with Kickstarter, they can always hit that notify button. So when it drops,
Yeah.
everyone gets the notifications that it's there.
Yeah. And the link is in my bio. I just posted something on my story. And I think I might save it as a highlight so anyone who comes to my page can see it.
Yeah.
And they send me updates all the time. So I'll make sure to update you guys on what's happening with that. And then for Umberto also, I'm working on The Reckoning. I'm gonna work on one of the covers, I think, for issue 2. I'm pretty sure.
Sweet.
Um, we don't get to talk a whole lot.
Mhm.
I only ever get to see him um, at local conventions, which I haven't been going to very often recently. And then we have an ongoing thing through messaging, but that's all I know. So I just repost the stuff he sends me, and I'm glad to work with him. I know that the Dumb Reminders is a really big project to him, and it means a lot to him. And I'm super honored to be working on it. I'm so happy he asked me, and I know he was really looking for local people who are really close that maybe can um, sell the stuff at the booth and say that this is a local project and be partners that are really close to each other. And I'm so happy to be working on it. And I hope
That's
it comes
awesome.
out really great and everything he wanted.
No, I think it'll, especially with you on board, I'm sure it'll come out it'll come out
Oh,
awesome.
thank
So,
you.
no, no, I'll make
Mhm.
sure I'll drop that link in the description so everyone can check it out. And of course, all your stuff, I'll make sure I drop like your Instagram so people can follow you, check you out on Instagram and all your other, you have a website. I know you have another
Mhm.
website for commissions too, so that's kind of cool.
It's so the commissions page is just an additional website.
Mhm.
Everyone always asks me where they can file commissions, so I just made it like a separate link.
Sweet.
So it's really easy to get commissions. You can DM me. You can go to the commissions form if you have a bigger set of commissions that you wanted from me.
Oh, cool. Do you charge extra for Batman commissions?
I should. Let me tell you, I should.
No, I just wanted to. I'm sorry that I'm one of those like cheesy dads that likes to get that cheap laugh. So I had to do it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I have one of those. It's super easy, but
Oh, that's cool. No, is there a character that you love to draw all the time that you could probably like put your pen on the paper and close your eyes and draw them, or a certain type of art piece or something that you like to draw that you just like draw with your eyes closed? Basic, just just saying, like not really draw with.
yeah. um, well, I do like Catwoman a lot. Kind of any female character I really
Yeah,
love. I do like I love drawing Spawn actually. He's
yeah,
really fun. And I recently met Thomas Healy, um, and he's really cool. And his character, I think her name is Nyx. I'm pretty sure the Book of Nyx
yeah.
is brand new. She's really fun to draw. I did the blank that I haven't posted yet, but that'll be really soon.
Sweet.
Um, I did the blank, and she was really fun. I have an original character, Sugar, who I draw all day, all the time. I could probably draw her with my eyes closed,
Oh,
genuinely.
nice. Yeah, there you go.
Genuinely, I could probably and it would come out fine.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
so yeah, female characters are definitely. I just know more of what to do with them. I think
Hmm.
guy characters are kind of boring because they're kind of just like like they can only do like one pose and then that's it, and then
Yeah, that's cool. No, that's a heck yeah. I'll be honest, that's the first time I've heard that, but it makes a lot of sense. It's
yeah,
like the lady characters they can they can get to some other poses and fighting stances and
yeah,
things like
and
that.
they have
I think
interesting outfits and stuff.
Very true.
I'm I'm a girl, so I'm big into fashion and stuff.
Mhm.
I honestly, if I wasn't doing comic stuff, I'd really want to go to fashion school. I
Oh,
actually really
nice.
love fashion. So every time I have even the opportunity to make it really elaborate, like I will take it. And that's why I love Spawn because this
Nice.
cape can do whatever.
Yeah.
He can be on top of buildings, he can be in the middle of the desert with Gunslinger, like
Hmm.
he's
Yeah,
just a diverse
that's
character.
yeah. Oh, that's
The
cool.
more diverse a character is, the more fun it is to do.
Oh, that's cool. I like, being a non-artist guy, it's like I thought that would be something a little harder that would you people someone would shy away from because they're so
Yeah,
detailed. There's so much like you said with Spawn, he's got the huge cape and he's got chains
yeah.
and
And
his
cool boots.
eyes, yeah, and his
And
boots,
there's so
yeah.
many cool things you can do with him, especially if you watch like the animated show. He has so many like the villains and stuff. Like
Yeah.
Violator is like a big monster. I'm like so cool. You can do so much stuff.
Yeah, that animated series was underrated and
So
should have
cool.
never been canceled, or they should bring it
Todd
back.
McFarlane Todd McFarlane was so young in that series.
Hmm. Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's pretty cool. No,
This was how long ago it was.
yeah, I know. I think I might have still been in high school when that came out, or like right after. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
look it up now. I'm gonna have to like see how old I am now. I'm gonna have to see
Every
this.
time I talk about it, everyone's like, "How do you know about that?" Like that came out so long ago.
Yeah, it was. Dang, that's cool. No, I mean, honestly, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing some cool stories, sharing the
Yeah, of
projects you've
course.
done, and you're gonna be you're gonna are you were you gonna be going to a con soon, or were you gonna
Hmm.
be attending it, or as a guest, or just are you just gonna be going?
I'm not a guest. We buy a table for Heroes Con in North Carolina every year. Well, I shouldn't say every year.
No, but you're still
Um, since I've started. Hmm?
yeah. I said it's still considered a guest, I think.
I if you look at the guest list, I think you would disagree with me. I am not as important as those people. Um, but I've gone the past 3 years. Yeah, three
Oh, that's
years.
cool.
Um, the first time we went, it was just like as a family. My aunt had a house up there that was really nice, and she wanted us to visit. And we were like, well, let's go get a table for Heroes Con because Heroes Con, we'd heard about it. My dad has been wanting to go really bad and never had an excuse to go and the means to go. Um, it always makes us feel a lot more secure when we have a table.
Yeah.
Um, we like to go to conventions anyways, so it's great when we can get into a convention and be like, oh, just like be excited to be at the convention. Um, but Heroes Con is a big one, and it's one of those that like lots of people don't like sleep at that show.
Oh, wow.
So you go back to your table in the morning and like the guy next to you is like, I've been awake for 3 days. And you're like, okay. Yeah.
Here's
So
some more Red Bull, buddy.
yeah, I'm like, do you need something to drink? Yeah,
Well, that's cool.
it's fun.
That sounds super exciting, and that's a cool like little thing you guys have been doing. That's not little, but I mean that's a cool thing you and your family are doing.
It's like the big annual thing. It's really great because there's a there's an art auction the second night. Um and during the day on the first day, you can be on stage and doing your paintings, drawings. My brother last year took like a professional camera and took like professional photos of me.
Mhm.
And it's a great opportunity to be close to people like you never thought you'd get to talk to.
Yeah.
Um, Skottie Young was on stage with me last
No
year,
way.
and I don't believe it happened, and it's my story. I was there. I was on stage doing my piece, and he sat right across me. And Skottie Young doing his piece is like a huge thing every time. There's always a crowd to watch him on stage, and
Hmm.
every time he signs it, they like cheer and clap. And his piece went for like I don't know, like $1,200 last
Ooh.
year, like crazy expensive. And sat across from me, about to do legendary stuff right in front of me. and I was just sitting there in my painting, like barely painting because I was trying to watch him. And I had the black acrylic paint, and he comes over and he's like, "Can I borrow this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can do whatever you want."
Do whatever
And
you want.
he looks at my piece and he's like, "That's really good." And I'm like, "What? Thank you." And I like only said thank you, and he's like already back to his easel. I was like, "Wow, I
That's
really blew that one."
oh, that's cool. Now I'm pretty sure he knew you were excited, and that's
I
cool. That's cool. He's one of my favorites too. He's one. I have a
He's
whole
crazy.
bunch of random books from him because I like his stuff.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
one of the best writers like ever. I'm honestly, his art is only, I think he just falls back on his art for like because people like it. His
Yeah,
writing next level.
yeah, it's
Everyone's like
crazy.
Skottie Young is okay, and I'm like, but have you read I Hate Fairyland though? But
Mm.
have you read I Hate Fairyland?
Mm.
Because you might think differently.
Right. Oh, that's cool. No, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It gets you to places. You do stuff like that. Gets you in front of people that you never thought. I'll
Yeah.
name drop. This is I promise because I know we're running out of time. I'll name drop. Like one of the biggest people I ever got to meet. I was like this close to Stanley, like right in front of me.
Oh
It was really
wow.
cool. Like I paid for
That's
his
crazy.
autobiography to have it signed, and I went to the booth and like, oh hey, I'm here to pick up my signed autograph, and he's like, oh, he's on his way, and I'm like, what the heck?
I'll wait right here then.
Yeah, I
I'll
was the first
wait
one
right
in
here.
line. And then while I was waiting, I talked to the manager. I was like, "Hey, I do video. I'm here. I was there as press because I do video production." And I said, "Hey, if you let me shoot video of the booth, and while he's signing, just let them
Wow.
know, and then I'll give you the video." And they're like, "Yeah." So
Yeah,
I was like right next to him. I
man.
got shots of him signing, and really
Wow.
cool story. It
I feel
was
like
really,
shaking.
yeah, yeah. I'm glad I had a stabilizer on because then I was like, "Oh my God, he's right
Yeah.
there." But no, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's my cool little story. But I mean, yours is way better because you're on stage with him with Skottie Young, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and there's people all the time that because they're just walking around.
Hmm.
We're just like, oh wow. Um, Johnny does Jardins.
Yeah.
I got to meet him at the last one. He is crazy. He's a crazy good painter. And I didn't even realize my dad was talking to him until I was like going up to my dad to be like, hey, can we go home? And I like, I tapped him and he turned around and Johnny was like right behind him. And I was like, actually,
That's cool.
I'll stay a little longer. I
That's
was
cool.
like,
That's a
oh
good
man,
move.
this is
That's a good move.
crazy. Yeah.
Oh, well, Evie, I really appreciate you sharing stories with me, sharing how you became an artist and just being on my cool little tiny show. And I really appreciate you jumping on. I can't wait to see your stuff again. I want to be able to talk with you a little more so I can maybe
Yeah.
either commission a piece or if you got anything I can get any prints or anything, I'll be more than happy. I have some empty space on my wall, so I need some more stuff.
You need this.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah, the
gonna
only one I
replace
have
this
is I got one from Raymond Gay, so
oh dude.
I need to get some more here.
Yeah. On that the one from Mark Fenn's, Raymond
Yeah.
did a little spawn and I was like he did it at the very bottom and I was like, oh I wish I could like cut it out. But at the top.
I know,
I was
right?
like, oh man. I caught him off guard. He was like in the middle of signing stuff. He like did it not even looking basically. And I was like, no way. He's so cool. Love
Yeah.
him. Love Irene.
Yeah, Irene's so cool too. Yeah, I always see him and I always bug him too when I see him at the cons or even when
Yeah.
I talk to him online, so it's pretty cool.
He
Oh,
gives me so much good advice. I don't mean to drag out this time right now.
no. I don't mind at all. It's just
He I I remember last time I saw him, I had some problems with my wrist. Like I
Mhm.
had been working doing art for like 2 weeks straight and my wrist was like so sore and I was like I didn't want to do commissions at the table. Like all the commissions I did were like really shaky because
Yeah.
my wrist hurts so bad. And I remember him just being like, "You're so young. Like, please don't wear out your wrist before you're even in the big leagues, you know?" And it's really stuck with me. I really everything he says, I like take it like scripture.
Yeah.
Like I go
No,
home and I study it.
no, Raymond and Irene, they're really good people. And
They're
Raymond's such
really
a
great.
talented
Oh my,
artist too. So
I'm
yeah.
so lucky to have like Pez and Danny. That's
Hmm.
Danny's piece.
Yeah.
Danny and Joey has they all have the best advice, and I'm so happy to be like the little sister of the group, the little like trainee of like
Nothing wrong
yeah,
with
give me
that.
your advice. I
Yeah.
take it to heart every time.
That's cool. No, and Evie, I really appreciate you jumping on. We'll have to do this again soon. We'll have to do this again
Hmm.
really soon. We'll get together maybe after when you come back from your con over in
Here's
North
kind
Carolina for sure, or
Yeah,
from
I'll
North
take up the
Carolina.
whole hour talking. Won't
Uh,
even let you get a word in.
Heck yeah, let's do it. But I'll make sure I'll put everything in the description below. That way people can follow you, check you out, and well, can't wait for see what's next with you.
Yeah, thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you so much, and we will talk soon. All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.